Mr. Steve.
Both right-hands, right?
No.
Do a pledge
Is
for
he on the number?
Yes.
He is.
Ready? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, help and guide us as we make the best decisions possible for the citizens and City of Boonville. And also protect everybody tomorrow as they express their rights and vote. Amen.
Amen.
Good reminder. Roll call.
Young,
Here.
Meadows,
Here.
Coward,
Here.
Carvel,
Here.
Hilbert,
Here.
Venable,
Here.
Turner,
Here.
Stock.
Here.
All right, we have hearing of citizens' comments. First up, it's Mary Pat Obley to talk to us about the library. Hi, Mary Pat.
How are you?
Good.
I'm
Good.
Stashing my bottle of Perrier, not
good.
Heineken. Somebody asked me about that one time. I said no. I'm Mary Pat Obley, trustee for the Boonslick Regional Library for Cooper County. And I also would like to introduce Linda Alcorn, who is here from Sedalia. She is the director of the three-county library and has been a wonderful assistance to those of us here in Cooper County as we move forward in a very exciting new project. I have, and Linda will be passing these out, I have some floor plans for you, and I'm going to just briefly go over those. So you have some idea of what we're going to do. This was the preliminary phase of the project. And these were the drawings that were produced that show each of the three levels. When we move to our new home, we will have more than twice as much room as the library has. We'll be on three levels, and then I will go over each of these three in a different format that shows you more of a 3D look at it. And as you look at this, don't feel, can you see? I can move this over.
Yeah, I think you're okay, Mary.
Okay,
You're
are you
good.
okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Now, you will have this probably on your third page.
That's correct.
This is the lower level, which we're calling the garden level, because the entrance is right on the same level as the Memorial Garden, Kent Garden. And we will have, this is, okay, it's flipped around just a little bit, but the entrance to the garden area on the east is here. A hallway that comes in. We're basically going to keep the structure of the building and the room divisions essentially what they are. We will have what has been a naming opportunity on the lower level there, the Uncas McGuire Discovery Center, which we announced and kind of unveiled the before pictures and got ideas from the community about that during Heritage Days this year. It also will have a staff area, work area on the lower level, and an area for the Friends of the Library and their book donations to organize and sort. And we're very, very pleased that also on this level, there will be a community room for meetings or training sessions, events, lectures, and the whole 3 floors are designed so that this space can be used during the day and also in the evening after hours. The main thing on this level as far as construction will be putting in a stairway from the main level to this lower level. Right now, there's a stairway between the main level and the upper level, but not between the main level and the lower level. So for access and for safety of all concerned, that is something that will be needed to be added. And it is a costly addition, especially since the building is already finished. There also is an area, wonderful ramp that comes up from the tremendous parking lot that we've had, that the city has done a great job on it. We really appreciate that and appreciate all the support from the community through the tax increase to do that. We have the parking lot. There is a ramp then that will come up to a west entrance. And as you come in that west entrance, it's right by the elevator. And we are going to, another alteration, one of the very few, is to widen this area. We have 2 bathrooms there that are both very good size. We're going to basically take some of that space to make more of a lobby space and entrance, because right now it's just a 5-foot hallway. And you come in the door, you've got the elevator, and then 2 bathroom doors right in front of you. So this will expand that space and make it easier ingress and egress for people. As we go up to the main level, which has just a wonderful vista, we're going to basically use interior design and decor and colors to really divide the areas. But as you come in the front door, there will be an area of recognition with plaques by categories of donations on that wall in the vestibule area. And then as you walk further in, this whole space right now is open, and we plan to keep it that way. It has great visual, great windows. You can see the upper area through the opening in the floor up to the upper level. And then we are going to have the circulation desk in the area where the offices were. When State Fair was used this space, so there'll be an office and circulation desk with some modifications so that I have a good sight line to things that are going on in the outer area. But just quickly, as you walk into to your right, there will be an area, the Friends of the Library's Book Nook, where we have book sales. And we call them book sales, but actually they're free will donations. They're books that we have had donated to us and that are available to the public. If somebody can't afford a book, it's theirs to take. If they can make a donation, then that donation goes to the Friends of the Library, which then in turn comes back to the library for different projects. They've made a $35,000 commitment as a naming opportunity for that particular space. Next to that, we'll have a lounge. So it's a place where people will want to come. We'd like for this to be like a magnet for the community, a place where anybody can come, relax, enjoy the time. And so we've developed this atrium area in the center area here, all of the most popular things, the new books, the books that are circulated from each of the different libraries, the CDs, the DVDs, the playaways, all the things that are most popular. And then as you go along toward the north part of the building, there will be an area for young adults, a young adult area, and then the entire north area will be the children's space. We'll have computers there, both in the young adult and in the children's area, but also a specified area for adult computers that will be right outside of the area for staff so that if there's need for assistance in any way. And a convenience then of 2 different restrooms on this level as well. All of the restrooms will be made family restrooms and handicap accessible. When you see the book stacks, know that they're not going to necessarily look like that. Those book stacks actually interpret the number of books in the collection for that area that we'll have to accommodate. So in the children's area, you may see a kind of a snake-looking bookshelves, any kinds of different things. We haven't gotten to that phase yet, but it's coming up very closely. And on the upper level, we will, then as you come off the elevator, there will be an area that's more of a lobby space too, again, for people to sit. There will be a reference desk and then nonfiction books for both young adult and adults, and then fiction books for adults. An additional lounge area, and then a special corner for reference, writing, research genealogy. So that's the plan. It goes, if you have any questions about that, even after this presentation, please feel free to call me at any time. Whew. Could you all hear okay? I'm sorry, I'm a little raspy still.
So Mary
Mary
Pat,
Pat does an amazing job. She knows everything forwards and backwards, and we are so fortunate to have Mary Pat on our library board.
Well,
Very blessed. She has worked so hard. And with the plans that Mary Pat mentioned, there's going to allow the library to provide a lot of new services that in the past we haven't been able to provide because of our very crowded conditions. And so this is such an exciting opportunity for the library, for the whole county, but we really anticipate a lot of traffic in and out of the facility. The location is beautiful, and I think from what I gather, there's going to be a lot more excitement ahead, and I think a lot of opportunity to partners that will really be a benefit to the community. So we're thrilled with this opportunity to be able to offer more programs and services and expand on what we have, but to also have a lot of new services as well. So thank you all. You have been awesome. Kate has been tremendous. Thank you very much for everything you've done. Sorry, I wasn't going to speak. Sorry.
I tried to get her to come to the podium with me. But as you can see, we've gone through the preliminary phase of the project and specifically had architects and designers in that phase that were experts in the field of library planning. So that we could do that in the first phase, we needed to pause a bit, and then we are proceeding now with architects and designers and look forward to very soon an exchange of properties. We're hopeful by the end of the year. There are a few things on the city's to-do list that might still need to be done. Kate and I haven't really compared notes today. Then we will have Jay Berenson of Porter Berenson Associates, the architect, who has worked on a number of projects for the city. He is the one that did our initial inspection of the building when we were in contract, going into the contract with the city. And then he will do a final inspection before we actually transfer properties or trade properties. So we're hopeful about that. Everybody's very excited, and we are ready to go. We have, one of the first things we'll do is reevaluate costs. The cost figures that we have are at least a year old, and a year ago we felt they perhaps did not represent exactly what we wanted for the building. They were, I think I mentioned to you on another report, we had actually a year ago in November, the first figures presented to us and we thought they were too high, so we went in and took all these things out, that we thought would save us $50,000 or $60,000 or $70,000, and the prices came back with those things excluded, and it was more. And that was a year ago, in December, January. So we all know what's happened in the last year. We are very hopeful that within 9 months, and hopefully sooner, that we can be in the building. We're looking at, if all goes well, if there's no long lead times on supplies or furnishings, and we will know that up front. So there could be alternatives that we select, which we're prepared to do, so that we can bring this to closure. Our greatest hope is late summer, early fall, because it's also a perfect time during the library programming to end summer programs, and then and school starts, and then you start fall programs. So that is our hope. One of the big things is raising money, and as you know, we've been doing that in many different ways, from events like Sippin' and Strollin', Rockin' and Rollin', which was a great success, and we have had wonderful feedback about that. was something that was not just good for the chamber and the library, but I think really sort of a gift to the community to bring, well, probably nearly 500 people, if not more, to downtown Boonville for that event. And we appreciated all the support that we had from just those who attended, but those who supported as rock stars and sponsors. We are going to be doing an end of the year mailing, which we do, and we encourage anybody who might need to do an IRA distribution to remember that we're here in a 501c3 tax deductible entity, and we would appreciate your consideration. We're also talking with families and individuals about additional naming opportunities like the Discovery Center and the Friends, and we do have another donor who is going to be providing funds and the naming opportunity for the Bingham Portrait area. So we have raised not only larger sums of money, but we also have had hundreds of small contributions. Even one gentleman, I was at the library, gave me $1 and said he was really sorry he couldn't give more, but he loved being at the library, and he was somebody that came there at least once a week, if not more often. We are trying to touch every base we possibly can in raising funds. I have learned more about the ARPA funds through economic development on all levels to try to get down to like the 7th or 8th rung where the not-for-profit level is. But we're talking very seriously about, we will be applying for those funds as well as talking to the county commission this week about the availability of funds there. So it takes money to accomplish what we need to, and we have a ways to go, but we feel like we have enough in the bank to get started. And so we're going to proceed with final interior design details, wiring, any structural investigations that need to be done, and move on to construction documents and bidding and actual construction. And I would be happy to entertain any questions that you might have.
Albert,
Yes.
Somewhere, I think when we first started to talk about the library, I heard a figure of $3 million to $3.5 million. Is that still realistic?
There was, that figure really relates to a building that was proposed about 10 years ago at the time, to have on the site where the library sits now on Main Street, to have that building torn down and a completely new building actually built. It was at the time that the Obama stimulus money was available, and the library was led to believe that they were eligible for that. And Linda, I was not on the board at that time, but Linda, is there anything else you wanted to add?
Where that was so long ago. No, I think you
Well,
covered it.
I think from what I have researched about it is that the bill was passed. There were indications to different groups, like the library, that there would be money available, substantial money. They went out, hired an architect, drew the plans up, had the community meetings, and at the very last gasp, they were told that they didn't qualify. And it was very, very disappointing. Any money that was raised at that time was still in the bank and is being used on this library renovation and the move. So if people gave 10 years ago or 12 years ago, that money is still intact, and I've had questions, and I've gone back and found individual donations if there were questions about it. The library central office has done an amazing job of keeping everything very well recorded, and working with 3 different counties and taxes and all of that. We are a governmental agency, and we do receive some tax funding that is primarily to take care of staff and the needs of the library on a regular basis. So this type of project is an expensive one. The stairway itself, 4 years ago, there was an estimate that it would cost possibly $80,000 to $140,000. Now we're looking at probably twice that cost.
Do you know, Mary, if the I think it's 0.5% tax, sales tax that we put in 2018, 2019? something like-
2019, yes, I worked on that very hard.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
The part that the library was able to benefit from is there was no parking lot really
In
for
that
the
figure.
library. So the tax money, as I understand, and Kate, please correct me, was to basically put the library, put the parking lot in by the building so the library would have parking. And that was part of the agreement that we had with the city.
Yeah, the parking lot, the ramp, the stairs,
Right.
and a few of the building improvements we did.
Are you saying that was not factored into the 0.5%? Is that what you're saying?
No, that was what the
was.
city's
was.
contribution was.
That's what that was.
Yeah, and then the remaining 5-year revenues are directed towards the Y improvements and renovations necessary.
Good question. Anybody else? Thank you, Mary Pat.
Thank you all very
Appreciate all
much.
you're doing.
We appreciate your support and happy to answer questions if others come up in the future.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any other public comments? You brought a helper.
I did. Actually, I brought the boss. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. My name is John Morton. I'm the philanthropy chairperson for the Isle of Capri Casino Hotel in Boonville. And with me tonight is Catherine Schuster, the senior vice president and general manager of the Isle of Capri. Tonight, we just wanted to share with you some information from our 2021 market sheet that I sent out to you guys this morning. Kind of details the commitment from the Isle of Capri Casino to Boonville and to the surrounding communities. We really have a philanthropic focus that centers around shelter insecurities, food insecurities, veterans, and senior citizens. So with that short introduction, I will leave it to Mrs. Schuster to give you some of the particulars.
Hi, good evening. I know that John sent this information to you, so you all had it in your email. We're just going to talk to you a couple of minutes just to point out some highlights. So it's kind of crazy to think about it, but the casino has been in Boonville for almost 21 years now, so it'll be 21 years this December. Also, I think this is a great opportunity. I do know some of you, but to kind of put a face with a name. And so it's really great to be here tonight to see all of you and to present this information. So just a couple of the highlights, kind of like John talked about, our philanthropic commitment to the community. We really are invested in a lot of different ways, whether it's financially or with our time. Just a couple of things. A lot of our managers and directors and leadership teams serve on a lot of boards in the community, so we're on unlimited opportunities. We have a representative in the Chamber of Commerce, Senior Center, Police Board, and a variety of other boards that they serve on. We really do want to be a great community partner, and a couple of projects that we focused on this last year, along with our Code Green efforts, also were to update the roadside park that is on 87, I think, right? And then also to adopt a highway mile stretch, I think is about right. And so we've already done at least one of those two commitments this year, and we'll start again in the spring. So just kind of touch on a few more things. We still do employ over 300 team members at our location here in Boonville, and almost 50% of our supervisors and above are women, and 14% of our supervisors and above are people of color. So we're really great, proud to talk about kind of the diversity that we are part of. And then, again, kind of our community engagement, over 1,200 hours from our team members volunteered in 2021, so we're really proud of that as well. So just kind of just being a great community partner, it's really great to see the progress we're making kind of with the library and some other things. I'd love to see the transition with that and stick around for a while. The other thing that we're talking about too is kind of helping with some things that just recently happened with the village of Wooldridge. And so in case those of you are not guests of ours, we do have a donation box that we have on the casino floor, and that usually changes monthly. A lot of times for suggestions that we get from our team members to kind of donate to the local communities. And so for the month of November, guests who visit have the opportunity to donate cash, checks, checks meaning table game chips or cash, and then that money is counted and it will go straight to the village of Wooldridge. In addition to that, 10% of our cash sales from our restaurant that we're having on Wednesdays is also being donated. And then a team member opportunity where the team members can pay $5 a week to wear jeans on Fridays. And so we'll take all of that money, accumulate that for the month of November, and then try to help out somebody in our local community. With that, I really don't want to take up too much more of your time unless any of you have any questions for either one of us. I just wanted to thank you again for opportunity to kind of point out a few things that we're doing here in our community.
Well done. Any
Thank you
questions?
all.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job. Thank you. Any other comments? Hi.
I'm Bonnie Riley from Riley Equine Center, and I'm here to say thank you. Thank you for helping us with our scholarship fund, and you enabled 11 beautiful little kids to ride on scholarship at Riley Equine Center this year, and I very much appreciate it. And while I have this opportunity, I also want to thank Alice Capri, who has been, they didn't mention our name, but our board president is one of their
Employees?
officers, managers, yeah. And Alice Capri has been exceedingly helpful for us. And we are having, I wanted to tell you tonight that we're having a chili day coming up and pie auction. And it's going to be November 19th. We're going to have it at Emmanuel Lutheran Church. And we wanted to cordially invite you all, and it's going to be a fun time. So I brought some flyers, and I just wanted to say we love you, we respect you, we appreciate you, and thank you so much for supporting us.
You got it. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, we'll move on. Item 4, approval of the minutes of the October 17th, 2022 council meeting. They're on pages 3 through 10. Any corrections? And they will stand as submitted. There are no consent items. Presentation of accounts and claims, that's on page 11.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on November 7, 2022. The sum of $539,659.84. General fund, $191,254.82. Sanitation, $36,106.48. CIP tax, $36,374.59. Waterworks, $98,655.41. Capital projects, $40,486.49. Wastewater, $94,407.45. Tourism, $17,885.38. Gaming, $15,597.47. Parks and Water, $8,891.75. Kemper sales tax, $0.00. Economic Development Projects, $0.00. Section 2, the accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed above, amounting to $539,659.84, being the total amount of money being appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading, November 7th, 2022. Read for the second time this November 7th, 2022, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve these accounts and claims.
Is there a second?
Mayor, I second that.
Thank you, Whitney. Questions, comments? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Item 7, unfinished business. Second reading of bill number 2022-047, adjusting and amending the ward boundaries. It's on page 12, and we are going to go to a third and final reading at the next meeting.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, adjusting and amending the ward boundaries following the 2020 census, providing an effective date therefore, and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Okay, item 8, new business. 8A, first reading of bill number 2022-048, authorizing and approving the conveyance of real estate by the City of Boonville to Freedom in Christ Ministries, DBA Impact Activity Center. It's on page 12 through 16.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving a conveyance of real estate by the City of Boonville to Freedom in Christ Ministries, DBA Impact Activity Center, a Missouri nonprofit corporation of the County of Cooper and the State of Missouri, and further authorizing the preparation of a special warranty deed and other necessary documents for purpose of such conveyance.
Item B, consider resolution number R 2022-19, pledging support for the project at FD Kemper Park for the development of senior housing. It's page 17 and 18. Yes.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, pledging support for a project at FT Kemper Park for the renovation and rehabilitation of A barracks and D barracks to be used for senior housing with the Kemper Apartments LLC and providing an effective date therefore. Whereas the City of Boonville purchased Kemper Military School in 2001 at public auction, and whereas since purchasing the campus, the City of Boonville has secured tenants for the Johnson Fieldhouse and Library Learning Center, Boonswick Heartland YMCA and State Fair Community College respectively, and whereas in 2018, the citizens of Boonville approved a temporary half-cent sales tax for improvements at FT Kemper Park, including improvements to Johnson Fieldhouse for the YMCA, parking lot improvements to facilitate the Boonswick Regional Library's move to Library Learning Center, and renovation of academic halls to be used for child care programming by the YMCA. And whereas after the planned improvements, A barracks and D barracks would be the only unoccupied buildings on the Kemper campus. And whereas the city sees demolition of A barracks and D barracks as a last resort option and for them to be restored and be an asset to the community, and whereas the Kemper Apartments LLC has expressed a desire to partner with the city to restore A barracks and D barracks for senior housing, and whereas the city council has discussed the development of Kemper Apartments LLC, and the council feels that this would be an investment within the community and significantly contribute to the local quality of life and help to provide economic growth. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, the city will proceed with the following to assist in moving this project forward. Abatement of asbestos and other environmental contaminants in A and D barracks, coordination with the Kemper Apartments LLC to address parking and ensure gas, electric, water, and sewer utilities are available at the buildings, with the city hiring MECO Engineering so as to avoid any conflict of interest. Section 2, the Kemper Apartments LLC will proceed with the following to assist in moving this project forward, conducting a market study to determine the need for senior housing. Primary discussions with SHPO, NPS, and MHDC regarding tax credit financing and development of preliminary floor plans. Section 3, in the event that the partners believe this project is still worthwhile, once the preliminary planning work has been completed, then the City of Boonville and the Kemper Apartments LLC will enter into a formal development agreement, which includes the transfer of A and D barracks to the Kemper Apartments LLC for a nominal sum pursuant to conditional agreement conditioned on final approval by SHPO, NPS, and MHDC of tax credit financing, with the stipulation that the property will be used only for the development of approximately 50 to 60 unit senior housing. Section 5, this resolution will take effect and be in full force from and after passage and approval.
Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Whitney.
I make a motion we approve this resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I'll second that.
Thank you, Andrew.
Mr. Mayor, did you say-
Questions?
Are we gonna have 3 readings on this one?
You're voting tonight.
We're voting tonight.
We're voting tonight?
Yes, sir.
It's a resolution.
I know, but we're voting tonight. Okay.
Yeah, the intention behind this is just that both the city and Kemper Apartments, Mr. Ailes, both the desire to have some sort of agreement in place that we like the idea and worthy of continuing our investment and continuing his investment. So this is kind of the first step.
Well, I have several questions as it relates to this project. I guess I didn't realize we were going to vote tonight on it.
Are you going to ask your questions?
Well, I am. I see there, there's some language change in this proposal, in this resolution. For example, I just asked last week about a market conduct, and I thought I was told that we were not going to do that. This says we're going to do it.
We're
Are we
not
gonna
doing
do
it, he's doing it.
So, but there will be one.
Yeah.
And I thought the stipulation was that we wanted to see what the results of that survey showed before we move forward. Is that not the case?
I think that's I think he would like some certainty that we're serious before he starts putting his professional services money as well on the table. So that was his point, was if we can agree to this, then I start spending my money and you start spending your money to get us to the next stage.
I can tell you, my vote on this depended on what the results showed. Because I'm not real sure there's a need, I guess. I'm not convinced that it's a need at this point.
I got it. Are you sure we weren't talking about another development?
No, it was
Just
this one. Not that, you're talking about the Kemper Drive development?
Yeah,
No.
I thought there was.
Got any other questions?
Well, I did. Section 3 there, again, just a play in words. I thought initially we talked donation, now we talked about a nominal fee. That's a little different than what we initially talked about. So what is it? Which is it?
It'll be like $1. Like we'll buy it for $1. I mean, he'll buy it for $1. That's what it's just the nominal sum represents. It's not a donation like a donation, like a tax donation or a tax write-off donation in that sense. So it's just he'll buy it for a nominal sum, $1, $10.
Okay. Well, again, that's a little change than what we talked about. I guess the final question I have, we've seen some projections, some guesstimates on the expense side. I've seen nothing on the revenue side. What's in this for Boonville? I haven't seen a thing on the revenue side of this project. Do we have some projection or estimates on the revenue side that we can look at?
I mean, I guess you could look at the increase in water customers. I mean, that would be your revenue,
Or
water
what
and
would
sewer
that
customers.
What's that gonna be? I just
well,
don't
if
think
there's
we're ready to
60
go forward,
I
Mr.
mean-
Mayor, on this thing yet. I think there's unanswered questions, and I think we're rushing through this.
I can just tell you on the water and sewer side, basically the average bill for senior housing, let's just say it's gonna be $120 a month. So times 60, and that's per month.
Yeah, that's full, that's a full
Full
house.
occupancy.
And that may or may not be the case. I just think we're rushing through on this. I really do. And I guess I would propose that we hold off on this until we get some more definitive answers on some of the questions we have.
Okay. Anybody else?
So I think we gotta explain to the public what this resolution is, us moving forward and investigating more of our relationship of developing this into housing or senior housing. So currently, right now, the buildings have been vacant since we bought them 2001. So we've been looking for tenants since 2001 for these buildings. Haven't had anybody want to move into them. Now we've got someone interested in it. What we need to do as a city is we need to abate the asbestos that's in it, whether we sell it, give it away, whatever we do with that property, tear it down, we have to take the asbestos out of it, correct?
Right.
So that's what we're saying we're gonna do. So we're going to show them good faith. We're gonna abate the asbestos, so
But we
get it
can-
ready for them. So then we're getting that ready either way. So we're just trying to show that, hey, we're willing to work with you. You wanna put your money in it, to bring it to housing, we're willing to work with you. So it's not a contract, done deal.
But what is it? I mean, if once we start down this road, then we intend to
Yeah,
complete
it's
it,
good
right?
faith, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying let's not start until, let's make sure we go in with our eyes open. I'm not sure we are.
I guess the idea is just like it says in section 3, that once we begin the preliminary plans, and whether that's 6 months or 9 months, I don't really know what the clarity is on the project, that we would enter into a formal development agreement with them, similar to what we did with Fox Hollow, that would explain all of the nuts and bolts and the fine details of what the property transfer would look like, as well as what the expectation of the development would be.
That's the expectation that's shown in section 3. This doesn't write a check. What this does is it commits our interest
Yeah,
to their interest.
I'm familiar with that road.
Yeah.
We've been down that road.
Right.
Okay, I'm just telling you where I stand.
That's fine.
As of today, okay? I think there's unanswered questions here, and I think we haven't had a chance really to dig into some of the stipulations and what we're gonna do here, and I just think we're rushing into it, so
Okay.
that be what it is.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I'd like to say that I think this is the beginning of an opportunity that could be something truly unique and very, very impressive for the city of Boonville. I fully support this today. I think that the 20 years that they've been sitting empty has given us a lot of opportunity to see what we could or could not do with these buildings. And I think given what we have outlined here, given what we've discussed, the potential for senior housing, the potential for the library, the potential for the Y, and now the potential for this development, I think it really does give Boonville a unique opportunity to do something very special with that space. And I fully support this, and I'm excited that we get to vote on it tonight.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Anybody else? Roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Cowherd,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
No.
Stock,
Yes. Thank you. Albert, thank you.
You're-
That takes care of the new business. Reports of standing committees. Board of Public Works, I understand there was no quorum there, so nothing was done there. Item B, Historic Preservation Advisory Commission. That's on page 20 to 24. Any questions or comments? Doesn't sound like it. Item C, Boonville Housing Authority. Si, any comments?
No, it was just reviewing, and you guys can read it and all that, but I thank, Bob Rohr for coming to the meeting, expressing concerns, bringing things in front of the city council for the previous meeting, and, basically just being open with this council.
Yeah.
And I think that, communication's key there, and also, if he's got concerns, bring them to us, and vice versa, so.
Is he retiring? I heard somewhere that he was talking about retiring in one of the meetings.
He may or may not have mentioned something, I don't know. But I will leave that to him, so.
Well, let's all hope he hangs in with us for a while.
Yeah.
He's a great asset. Anything else, Si? Okay. Reports of city officials, city administrator.
I have nothing.
Okay. Mayor, I just have a question. Any concerns, do you have any concerns inside the financials, page 27 through 36? I didn't either, but you're closer to them than I. Is the Kemper sales tax ahead of what we expected? Or equal to what we expected?
It's a little bit ahead.
Okay. All right. City clerk?
No,
Oh, you hesitated.
well, I think I was supposed to say something, but now I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I guess we would just note that, that we've moved back to our regular building in a fully heated and cooled space, which is very lovely. So,
I guess.
if you need to come see us, we are no longer hanging out at the dais. Amber and I have moved back to our offices.
Is all the HVAC completed now? Okay.
And you'll remember we were kind of iffy on specifications we were gonna ask for. What we ended up with is individual rooms that heat and cool at their own temperatures. So Kate can have her temperature, Amber can have her temperature, and definitely Teresa can have her freezing temperature. But it's done. Thank you. Miscellaneous. Jump in.
Mr. Mayor, I had some people ask me, I know that we had some vehicles for sale. The ending of the bidding was November 4th, I believe. How did that turn out? I don't know.
So,
What you got, Jeff?
We sold 4 vehicles and a lawnmower. We actually got what I consider to be decent money for what they was, for the vehicles.
Cool.
You're talking 4,800 for one, 4,000 something for the other, and
Cool.
things of this nature. But yes, they are also.
Awesome, and that's going towards new vehicles and stuff, right? Or,
It just goes into the general fund.
good, whatever she wants to do. Yeah,
Thanks, Jeff.
thank you.
We typically, I would say, about once a year, we'll do a surplus of vehicles, and they're usually police cars. Sometimes it might be twice, but we don't have as many now. We've kind of slimmed down our extra vehicles a little bit, so they're not as often the sale.
I know it was on the webpage for at least a month. I just, if we could mention it next time, maybe bring it up in here, a little more advertisement, but.
Any other miscellaneous? Go, Albert.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I wanted to just make sure, I guess, remind myself that, as I understood, we have 2 bulk days, big bulk days a year. And then once a quarter, we have where you can pick up 1 bulk item. No, what is the policy on that?
We got 1 bulk May, which is in April.
Okay,
The other 3 are in quarterly months, and they're just 1 item pickup.
right.
One bulk item, but in April, you can have a whole bunch of them.
Well, I'm with you on that. On the other one is the one that I'm having trouble with. The ones where, you say it's how often is it? Where you get 1 item?
So like in January, you get 1 item, April, you can put as many as you want, July, you'd have 1 item, September, October, somewhere.
So every quarter?
Yeah, just 1 large.
Okay, well, I got a couple calls, I think this, in September was a quarter.
Okay.
That the 1 item was not picked up, and when the guy asked the gentleman, the truck driver there, he says, I just forgot about it. I forgot we were doing that today. And so I guess my question is, everybody in touch with what we're doing in that area?
We're coordinated with them. It was the last week of October, I think it was
Yeah,
just
the
2
bulk-
weeks ago we had the
yeah.
last bulk pickup.
The bulk pickups for 2022 we're April 25th to 29th, July 25th to July 29th, then October 24th to October 28th, and then in 23, it's January 2 through January 6, 2023.
Okay, is that listed anywhere? Where is
It's on
that?
it's on the website.
Everything's on the website.
Everything's on the website.
Didn't Teresa send out that one pager too?
Yep.
With all the stuff on
See
it?
it, okay.
That she,
And a lot of people didn't.
I think our goal, if
I
I
thought it
remember,
was-
we are gonna move to the beginning of the month, not the end of the month in 23. Yep.
Well, I'm sorry, Kate, I missed, what did you?
I think the goal was because we were sort of did that mid-year, in 23, we're moving to the beginning of the month, not the end of the month. Just,
Okay.
and we kind of did that for Christmas. We thought you might have some extra stuff following the Christmas
Good plan.
holiday, so.
Good plan.
That's why the first week of January is the bulk week.
Okay, great. That's helpful, very helpful. 'Cause I think a number of people are kind of in the dark as to exactly when that one item is. So thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Steve?
No, sir. Oh,
Motion
to
You're
adjourn.
sleeping, dude, come on.
motion to adjourn.
Si, you got second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, stand up, go home.
all those